And the real winner is you guys. I mean, check this thing out. If you compare this to the old KS wheel, this is an amazing, amazing improvement. Yes, I'm holding it backwards, but I'm trying to let you imagine what it would be like to hold it. Today, we're going to take a look at the big surprise that is the Moza KS Pro. I mean, did anybody expect this wheel? Because I certainly didn't. So Moza sent this wheel over for a review. No script, no expectation, just gear for me to test, and my thoughts are completely my own. Opening the box feels quite familiar if you've ever owned a Moza product. As you can see, there's a cardboard cover on top with a line drawing of the wheel, almost like a little welcome card. I found it really cool. Under that, you get instructions and the stickers we're all used to. But the first real moment is when you lift the wheel out of the bag and the weight hits you. The KS Pro feels hefty. I haven't held the original KS, but I've used almost everything from Moza. This wheel feels on par with the GS in weight, maybe even a touch heavier, and right in the same territory as the FSR, probably the FSR V1 and V2. That weight gives it presence and it gives it a real feel. And I think that's going to translate really well in the force feedback details once we get going and testing this out in the rig. Because as you know, if it's too light, it's just going to bounce around. Look at this. Look at this, guys. Isn't this amazing? If you compare this to the old KS wheel, this is an amazing, amazing improvement. Yes, I'm holding it backwards, but I'm trying to let you imagine what it would be like to hold it. Number one thing I noticed, it's very, very, very heavy, extremely high quality. Right away, the casing looks like what we've expected from Moza. Quality plastic, carbon style surfaces, metal where it matters. But what instantly stood out to me was the copper-colored thumb rotary encoders. On the Pro, you now get 4 of them, and if you remember, on the older wheel, you only got 2 of them. You get traction control, ABS, brake bias, and differential. The rotaries on the original KS had some complaints. If you watched some of the reviews, you heard they were too stiff, too fast, too many skip detents. These new ones are a massive improvement. They're precise, the detents feel right, and the sound is clean. You can still overshoot it if you force them, but that's just how resistance works. Overall, the feel and the sound are excellent, and absolutely a step up. So in full disclosure, I've never had the original KS wheel, so this is new to me. I did watch a lot of the reviews on the original KS wheel. So as I watched all those videos, I heard a little bit of complaints, right? Not everything is perfect. On the original KS wheel, I've heard a lot of complaints about the notchiness, how fast these encoders actually rotated, so much so that when you're in the middle of racing and you were trying to move these encoders, that they would move too fast and very difficult to turn, resulting in missed operations. Every time you turned it, you would turn it a couple turns and it would just result in you missing your brake bias or traction control, what have you. Not only are there 4 now, but they are so much smoother. And that's on top of the 10 face buttons and the 5 additional rotary encoders at the bottom. If you recall, the original KS wheel only had 3. So since we're talking about ergonomics, the second thing we should focus on is the buttons. So again, I'm not holding it properly as for you to see, but everything is positioned ultra efficiently to the fingers, to all of these buttons. Everything is within reach. Of course, as with anything else, the ones at the bottom, you do have to remove your hand from the wheel to activate them. There are 10 push buttons in here, and you can see them 3, 3, and the ones down at the bottom. There's 10 push buttons, there's 2 funky switches, and there are 5 rotary encoders here. The buttons feel soft to the touch, but firm when you press them. Not mushy, not hollow. They're the kind of buttons you can trust mid-race without having to think too much. The grips are molded really well. The rubber coating feels good, soft to the fingertips, but you know, it doesn't squish. It doesn't have any actual give. Ergonomically, it's strong, but I'll be honest. I found one spot where my thumb kind of crosses the divider. It felt a little hard, intrusive over time. It's not a negative, it's just an honest observation, and it's rather personal to me. On the back, of course, we have the shift paddles and the clutch. This is another point of complaint that I heard about the original KS wheel, that some of you guys stated that this did not have enough pressure or sensitivity, that it was either on or off, but to my perception to what I'm feeling here right now, this feels pretty good. Coolest things was the 2 hidden switches right around where your index finger would be on the back of the wheel. Let's talk about the other tiny elephant in the room. Look at this, guys. Look at that little button right there. This is giving me vibes of Chrysler vehicles. I don't know if you guys ever driven a Chrysler car. They have the track and the volume on the back of the steering wheel. It's so intuitive. So for us racing, this would be a quick action straight to the finger right there. This is so amazing. So very welcome. This is, again, they're always innovating. The KS Pro finally gets a center display, but it's nothing that you guys expected. Yes, it's small, probably around 1.5 by 3.5 inches or somewhere in that neighborhood, but that's intentional. It gives you just the essential information you need without blocking your view of the monitor or in the game dashboard. Some people want a DDU for heavy data, some people want immersion. This wheel lets you have both. You can see what's happening and you can look right past the wheel. I love it. This little thing, I didn't measure it, but I'm assuming this is a 1 inch by 3 inch or 3.5 inch screen. Ladies and gentlemen, pretty nifty. And so the reason this is nifty, we have wheels with screens already. We have them from Moza and every other manufacturer, but this is compact. So a couple things, you get just enough information to keep the race going and you see right past it to your screen, which is quite amazing. Anybody else in the game right now, if you think that you are keeping up or playing along, you are falling behind, and these guys are not looking back. That might be personal opinion, but at this point, that's how I feel. And the real winner is you guys. I mean, check this thing out. Once you mount this up, the KS Pro puts on a whole light show. I did not expect this. You've never seen a Moza wheel light up like this. This was quite amazing. I have, like I said, most of their wheels, but this was something else. There's a full animation sequence. The RPM light stands, the screen cycles through logos, information. Honestly, it's just impressive. This is one of the biggest upgrades. The wheel itself has grown a little bit, especially in height on center compared to the original KS. And that's a good thing, because a lot of people thought the original KS wheel was, well, kind of ugly. This one fixes that. The proportions now look more like a proper GT3 rim, more attractive and much more serious looking. Now let's be clear, a wheel doesn't change force feedback by magic. That comes from the base. In this test, I'm using the R21 Ultra, and with that, all the detail comes through it beautifully. But the KS Pro itself adds precision through its layout, its weight, and the ergonomics. Everything is exactly where you expect it. So this wheel will sit right between the KS and the FSR. It gives you more control, more encoders, better materials, and well, a screen, right? At a very reachable price point. In the US, this should be around $325. At that price, with this build quality and this feature set, it's a very smart addition to Moza's lineup. We're in a sim racing market where every brand is coming out swinging, but let's be real, Moza is leading. They innovate fast, they design well, and they cover every product category before anyone else is ready. The KS Pro is another example. Nobody saw this coming. I know I didn't. So, as always, Moza sends me these wheels for a review. They do not tell me what to say. They don't give me talking points. They don't ask for anything beyond a review. I actually have to reach out for photos and specs so I don't misquote anything. They literally don't send me anything. They just ask, do you want the wheel? Every word you hear is mine. I share it with the community exactly as I experience it. That's the truth, and those are facts. On this channel, we're not trying to get numbers or approval. We're just giving you facts. Honestly, the verdict is this thing is impressive. The build quality, the weight, the new thumb encoders, the hidden switches, the lighting, the screen, the improved proportions, the styling. It's a really smart upgrade. If you're a GT fan, a league racer, or just someone who loves collecting and displaying high-end wheels, this one is worth a spot in your lineup. You don't have to take my word for it. Go check it out and buy it if you want. I'm sure the link will be below.